Why you start avoiding people as you age. 6 honest reasons seniors pull away from others older. Have you ever noticed that as you get older, you might start avoiding people more often? Maybe you've become a little more selective about who you spend time with, or you feel the need to take a step back from social interactions. If you've been wondering why this happens, you're not alone. It's a common experience, and surprisingly, it's not about becoming antisocial. In fact, there are several reasons why older adults begin to withdraw, and these reasons go much deeper than just not wanting to deal with others. It's about changes in how we value time, energy, and connection. In this video, we'll explore 6 unexpected reasons why this shift happens, and by the end, you might even feel empowered by it. Stay with me until the end, because the last reason will truly surprise you. It could change the way you think about solitude and how it affects your relationships as you grow older. Reason 1. Time becomes more precious. The first reason we start pulling away from people as we age is a change in how we perceive time. When we're younger, we often feel like there's an endless supply of time. More weekends to enjoy, more hours to spend with friends. But as the years go by, we realize just how precious our time truly is. You might start to notice that you don't want to spend your time on social events or activities that don't offer much more than superficial conversation or obligations. You want more meaningful interactions, and that means becoming more selective. Think of Greg, a 68-year-old retiree who used to fill his calendar with neighborhood meetings, casual lunches, and community events. Over time, he realized that while he had plenty of company, he didn't feel enriched by these interactions. They often felt more like a chore than a joy. So, Greg started saying no more often and focused on spending his time with people who truly mattered: his family, a few close friends, and his hobbies. For Greg, withdrawing wasn't about isolating himself. It was about investing his time in relationships that made him feel alive and valued. As we get older, we realize that life isn't about how many people we know, but how deeply we connect with the ones we choose to spend time with. Reason 2, energy becomes limited. Another reason why we start avoiding people as we age is that we simply don't have the same energy we once did. When we're younger, we can bounce from one social event to the next, spending hours in conversation or staying up late to catch up with friends. But as we grow older, our bodies begin to require more rest, and we naturally become more conscious of where we spend our energy. Take Carol, a 75-year-old woman who once thrived on hosting dinner parties. She loved the preparation, the laughter, the late-night chats. But as the years passed, the toll on her energy became more evident. What once felt like a fun, fulfilling activity now left her drained for days afterward. Carol came to understand that protecting her energy was an act of self-care, not selfishness. She stopped hosting large gatherings and instead started enjoying quieter moments with her closest friends. Sometimes it was just a cup of tea and a conversation, and that was enough. By being selective about how and with whom she spent her time, Carol was able to preserve her strength for what truly mattered. This is a shift many older adults make, not because they don't care about others, but because they need to conserve their energy for the things that bring them peace and joy. Reason 3. Small talk loses appeal. As we age, we start to lose our tolerance for shallow conversations. When we're younger, we might engage in light banter about the weather, gossip, or work drama simply to pass the time. But as the years go on, those conversations start to feel hollow. We crave more substance, real discussions about life, love, and the things that matter. Take Jack, a 79-year-old who used to meet up with old colleagues regularly. At first, the conversations were enjoyable, but over time, Jack found himself disillusioned by the constant griping about politics, work stress, and trivial matters. He started to feel like he was just going through the motions with no real connection being made. One day, Jack decided to stop attending these gatherings. Instead, he began spending more time with his son, talking about his childhood memories, sharing his life lessons, and enjoying the depth of their conversations. Jack found that these talks brought more meaning to his life than any amount of small talk ever had. It's not that Jack didn't enjoy socializing anymore. He just realized that his time was too valuable for conversations that didn't add any real value to his life. This shift often happens as we age, as we begin to understand that life is too short for endless trivialities. Reason 4. Protecting yourself from heartbreak. Another reason why older adults withdraw is the desire to protect themselves from emotional pain. With age comes the inevitable experience of loss. Friends move away, loved ones pass on, and relationships change. After enough loss, it becomes natural to want to shield yourself from further heartache. Take Leela, a 76-year-old woman who lost her best friend of 50 years. After that, she withdrew from many of her social circles, avoiding new friendships out of fear of experiencing another loss. It wasn't that Lila didn't want connections. It was that she didn't want to endure the pain of another goodbye. But as Lila continued her journey, she eventually realized that isolating herself didn't stop the grief. It only intensified it. She chose to slowly let others in again, embracing new friendships while still honoring the memory of her late friend. Through this, Lila found that while loss is inevitable, it doesn't have to define us. Reason 5. Choosing positivity over negativity. As we get older, we become more attuned to the energy of those around us. The constant griping, negativity, and complaints from others become harder to tolerate. We begin to realize how much these interactions drain us, and we start to protect our peace by distancing ourselves from those who bring nothing but stress. Take Arthur, an 80-year-old who used to have a regular coffee group with his neighbors. Over time, the conversations became filled with complaints about everything, from politics to the price of groceries. Arthur found himself leaving those meetups feeling more exhausted than refreshed. Instead of staying in these draining conversations, Arthur started spending his mornings walking with a neighbor who always had positive stories to share about his family, travels, and hobbies. These conversations left Arthur feeling energized, grateful, and joyful. This doesn't mean Arthur doesn't like people. It means he's learned to protect his mental and emotional well-being by choosing relationships that lift him up rather than weigh him down. We all have the right to surround ourselves with people who make us feel good, especially as we age. Reason 6. Discovering the power of solitude. The final reason many older adults start withdrawing is the growing appreciation for solitude. In earlier years, life was filled with obligations, raising children, working, socializing. But as these responsibilities fade, many seniors find comfort in the quiet moments of their own company. For Barbara, a 79-year-old retiree, the idea of being alone no longer felt like loneliness. After years of a bustling household, she began to cherish her peaceful mornings, reading books, taking walks, and simply enjoying the stillness of her own thoughts. Barbara discovered that solitude, when chosen intentionally, isn't isolating, it's liberating. It gives her space to reflect, connect with her inner self, and appreciate the quiet beauty of life. The more Barbara embraced her time alone, the more she found herself enjoying the moments she spent with others. Conclusion. So, why do older adults start avoiding people? It's not about becoming distant or cold. It's about making choices that prioritize peace, authenticity, and well-being. As we age, we begin to understand that our time is limited, our energy is finite, and our relationships need to be meaningful. The truth is, stepping back from social obligations doesn't mean stepping away from life. It means curating the life you want, one that is rich in connection, full of purpose, and grounded in authenticity. If you find yourself withdrawing as you get older, know that it's okay. It's a natural part of growth and a sign that you are learning to live life on your own terms. Don't be afraid to embrace the solitude when it comes. It's often in those quiet moments that we find the deepest sense of peace.